The pretty part of Swiss Avenue starts at Fitzhugh and extends generally north to La Vista. It is an old area, developed around the turn of the century for the kind of gracious and leisurely living that seems to have vanished with front porches and cool lemonade in a big shady backyard. The streets parallel the Swiss bowed before the post-war apartment explosion and the quick profit motive. Garish complexes, usually named for tropical resorts, elbowed in among the solid respectability. Gaston and Live Oak got to be known as swinging streets, though over the years it has become apparent that respectability wears better. Swiss kept its front porches, though not all of them in the same state of repair. With the future of the neighborhood trembling toward multifamily blight, some of the houses weren't maintained. That gave some families, who otherwise couldn't have afforded the trees and space, a chance to move in and repair at their own speed. This house, for instance, has emerged from a front yard jungle of brush and is slowly regaining its former dignity. But the trend scared others. They had restored their homes at great expense, and in 1966 the Swiss Avenue Protection League was formed. It collected enough money from among the residents to restore the median strip, certainly a distinctive feature of the area, and to push a planned development zoning which would exert some control. A tight economy helped. The single-family residences and the townhouse and high-rise apartments the zoning allowed were not profitable enough to tempt developers, so nothing very much happened. But the old deed restrictions are lapsing. The last ones expired July the 1st, and the residents have asked the city for help. The result was first a survey to see what the residents really wanted. The questionnaires flowed back. They wanted to keep the flavor of the neighborhood without making a museum out of it. Don Swafford of the Department of Planning and Urban Development did much of the work on that survey, and he said this week why he feels the neighborhood should be saved.
So this house is an example, behind me is an example of a Greek classical revival, and was probably one of the first houses built on the street, built about 1900, 1905, somewhere in that area. And this is something that is unique here in Dallas. It's not only unique in Dallas, it's unique in Texas. Nowhere in Texas can we find, say, just even examples of a block of houses, but more than this, we have Swiss Avenue, which goes 3 blocks and 5 blocks, 8 total.
Was the median strip in the original plan?
Yes, a median strip was in the original plan. It was set aside as a park. As a matter of fact, when the Mungers set it up, the street on the north side of the median strip was a private drive. And as you can see now, they probably, the people here have done an excellent job of renovating the strip back to its original character with landscaping, and beautifully done by the residents of Swiss Avenue.
The trick is to keep the character of Swiss Avenue without locking it into the past and so hampering its life in the present and the future. To solve this problem, the City Planning Department proposed making the area a historic district. I asked Wei Ming Lu, Assistant Director of the department, to explain that.
What does historic district mean?
What it does mean is just what the name implied, that there are certain architecture or historic characteristics or certain community sentiments that related to this area which worthy of preservation, and therefore that these areas could be sort of designated as such. Then certain specific tool can be applied to help preserving the area.
What's the next step then after the survey and after the presentation to the City Plan Commission?
Well, what we are trying to do here is trying to explore with the area whether there is a strong desire for preservation. Obviously, our survey shows there is. Then the question is, we need the kind of historic preservation ordinance, which the city doesn't have. And we're working on such an ordinance with our various departments, including the city attorney's office. And if that ordinance got the council's backing, then we can come back to this area, work with the area residents, possibly declare this area as a historic preservation district, and then apply the tours.
What would this do to the present value of the land?
It would stabilize the value, in my estimate. It would do almost everything that what the present zoning in the PD district would permit us to do, but perhaps bring it one step further, that it would not only permit the desirable mix of uses, but also to assure the kind of character of the developments will be compatible to the adjoining architectural properties.
The responsibility and concern of the Swiss Avenue residents will prove to be valuable for the entire city. A carefully considered and properly worded historic preservation ordinance would go far towards saving individual landmarks in Dallas, as well as neighborhoods that have singular character and flavor. There aren't many more Swiss Avenues. It seems important to save such as there are.